How about a Coppola Quick Facts?
Coppola Quick Facts here. I only have a very few, but I'll kick it off with the one I mentioned earlier is director Hoyt Yeatman's son, Hoyt Yeatman the Fourth. Oh my God, why carry that on?
Four people named Hoyt? Why?
Hoyt Yeatman the Fourth. Put that on your Tinder profile. Okay. Came up with the original idea for the film when he was 5 years old. Yeatman liked his son's story so much that he brought it to producer Jerry Bruckheimer, and the rest is history. It's just, I mean, what was that story? What was he saying? Like, yeah, guinea pigs, like super spies. That's it.
Yeah, like maybe they had a guinea pig and he liked to tell stories about the guinea pig doing interesting things because they're so not interesting.
Yeah.
And then he threw it at a snake.
There's a lot of moments in this movie. It's like, okay, how much of the story was actually there from this 5-year-old, or was it literally just super spy guinea pigs?
I wonder whose idea it was to throw the little serial killer teenager into the movie.
Bruckheimer.
This was Disney's first ever live action computer animation hybrid film.
That's weird.
But
that is hard
like,
to believe.
To be fair, like Pirates of the Caribbean, and all those types of movies kind of already had done this.
Yeah, you'd done the tech. I guess this is probably just the first time where it was
overtly,
probably that or predominantly CGI shots, and then they had to splice in live action.
I think a lot of the like whole third act was done in a computer. It is a healthy portion of the film.
Yeah.
This was Jon Favreau's first time working with Disney, crazily. But he was acting in this, but he ended up, doing his Jungle Book movie, his remake of the Jungle Book, which did really well for Disney, and then the Lion King live action version from 2019. But now he's like a full-on Disney card-carrying member with the MCU joining Disney. But like when he was doing Iron Man, and Star Wars, of course, the Mandalorian was his baby, really. When he did Iron Man 1 and 2, that had nothing to do with Disney at that point. That was pre-merger or pre-acquisition. So it's kind of crazy. This was the first time he ever worked with Disney, and now he is like he's one of their guys, the brain behind everything at Disney. I feel like this happens so much where it's like a brilliant person comes in and contributes something that does really well, and then they stretch them so thin that there's no way that they can ever create anything good after that.
Look at
because like Favreau's been stretched thin with like all of these Disney Plus TV shows, and then like Kevin Feige masterpiece throughout the first like 3 phases, and then things started to fall apart really quickly once he got tapped to like they wanted him to come over and do Star Wars, and they were like pulling him in every direction for 500 Disney Plus
he's like
series.
The creative director for all of Marvel now too, including comics and everything. It's just like
Like, how is he supposed to create anything good?
Right. And that guy he likes movies. That's his main thing, is he likes making movies. He just happened to get a job working at Marvel making movies because he was working for the Richard Donner's company stuff, and they were producers for the X-Men movies and stuff. And then he just, he saw the potential in... I mean, this is not like a Kevin Feige show, but he saw the potential in comic book stories being adapted to film because he loves film so much. And so the fact that they like stretched him thin over all these TV shows and like working directly as Marvel's supervisor and stuff, it's just like, I'm sure he took it on because he likes the work, but it doesn't seem like you shouldn't do that to people that
they're seeing the cost of that now.
Keep them where they're good.
We saw the same thing happen with Taika Waititi, where it was like Taika Waititi was churning out gold, and then they started like tapping him for everything, and then he made Love and Thunder, and now suddenly he's like persona non grata. Like nobody even wants to work with him. I don't know. It's crazy. But
same thing's gonna happen over at the DCU or the DECU or whatever the fuck.
I hope not, but
it's gonna happen. They're gonna stretch him thin over there.
There's no way James Gunn can keep up with the demand that DC's going to throw at him eventually.
They're desperate to
because he's
have
a
that same
filmmaker
success.
first and foremost, and now they're having him run a bunch of production stuff basically. And it's like, I guess it remains to be seen if he's good at it, but it's not the same kind of situation where Kevin Feige is a great producer because he likes making movies and having stuff, but he's not the filmmaker aspect of it.
Yep.
James Gunn's a great filmmaker. Remains to be seen if he could do a giant production role like that, and run an entire universe.
Yeah, we'll see. If that first Superman film falls flat, then we know they're going to reboot it again.
I think a Superman movie would be good.
And then the final quick fact is, coincidentally, weirdly, this was one of 2 movies released in 2009 to feature both Nicolas Cage and Bill Nighy, with the other being our next film, Astro Boy. I will say Bill Nighy is ever so slightly less over the top in Astro Boy, and it's kind of like the emotional, the moral compass of the film in general. I love Bill Nighy, but he can be really over the top, which he was in this movie.
Yeah.